upset alerts. Week 13. And in a rare move, I'm going 8 deep on upset alerts tonight. The upset alert rules around here are not that if I'm talking about the game, I'm picking the upset. And mainly a rookie mistake when people think that. No, we're going to pop the paper here. I'm just going to give you the game. I'm going to give you some thoughts on it. And I'm going to let you know, scale of 1 to 10, how concerned am I for the favorite? So first up, Miami is going to Virginia Tech. We've had this game on our radar for months. We've known that Miami, the last 2 weeks of the regular season, has to play on the road consecutive games in cold weather environments. What we didn't know in July is what the weather would be. Well, 62 at kickoff in Blacksburg, Virginia in mid to late November, we'll take it. Now, there could be some showers early, but Miami's not going to play a single game all year where there's not rain, apparently. Great year to be the offensive coordinator down there. Congrats to Shannon Dawson. You're going to play like 47 different rain games. Miami's got to go scorched earth here. They're favored by 17.5. They got to go scorched earth. They need style points. I hate that exists, but it does exist right now for them. And they need to score in bunches and let the chips fall where they may. It's a terrible matchup for Virginia Tech. So Miami should roll here. And believe me, I say the word should in all caps. Virginia Tech's 115th in turnover margin. Miami is 12th. Now, that didn't matter last week when OU looked like that against Alabama, but then they turned the tables entirely. So you can't be letting Virginia Tech do that to you. Virginia Tech cannot throw the ball. They got to run it to win. Miami's top 5 in run defense. I'm going to put a 4 on this one. It's tough for me to see it. Like, Miami's got some second life energy about themselves right now. So don't embarrass me. Next up, Kentucky at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt on the fringes of playoff contention right now. The line is Vandy minus 8.5. Kentucky, dare I say, a motivated Mark Stoops is red hot right now. Kentucky's won 3 consecutive. That includes a trip to Auburn. That includes a game against Florida. Cutter Boley can potentially make some throws here. Doesn't need to throw for 450 and 5. Just needs to do enough. What kind of focus do I have at Vanderbilt? Diego Pavia, who knows where he's been, according to Instagram stories everywhere but Nashville the last couple of weeks. Clark Lee's had his name involved in some coaching searches. Now, I got to tell you, I think Vandy will be dialed in. But I have to mention that those factors exist, at least. I mean, playoff hopes on the line here for the first time ever for Vanderbilt. Like, yes, they need to be dialed in. Here's what's important for you to know. Huge schedule dynamic advantage here for Vanderbilt. Vandy is coming off a bye. This will be Kentucky's 6th consecutive game, and they look like it on the injury report. They are badly banged up. So I'm going to put a 6.5 on this. Vandy plays these tight games, but the schedule dynamic plus, the tightrope walk that is playoff contention in November leads me to believe they'll get the job done. But it is a hot Kentucky team. Next up, Michigan is at Maryland. Michigan's favored by 13.5. They are off a comeback win against Northwestern. Turnovers were a huge issue for them. They won the game anyway. Got a pair of freshman quarterbacks going at it here. Justice Haynes is out for Michigan. Jordan Marshall. They're banged up. You know it's the biggest look-ahead spot the sport has to offer because they've got Ohio State coming in there. But the difference is this isn't like Auburn where their season's down the drain and they've got a rivalry game coming up, which is going to be their Super Bowl. Michigan could still make the playoff. Michigan could still win the Big Ten. And this is a conference game. So, theoretically, they should be dialed in. Now, here's what could happen. Malik Washington, quarterback there at Maryland, could just have his career day. That could happen. You could have a distracted Michigan. They could get good turnover luck. Yes, these things could happen, and for those reasons, I'm going to put a 5 on this game. Michigan has won games without covering all year. We've made money on it. I think Michigan's going to cover in this game. I'm not betting a dime on it. I just have a sneaking suspicion they'll go in there, they'll get a good enough win, and then all eyes on Ann Arbor next Saturday at high noon. Current line for Ohio State and Michigan at FanDuel, Buckeyes minus 12.5. Next up, Kansas State goes to Utah. What happened? Where did Kansas State go? What are they? I'm going to tell you what they are. The most average team on the planet. They're a 17.5-point dog at Utah. Here's how average they are. I've got their defensive numbers in front of me right now. Kansas State, total defense, 78th in the country. Pass defense, 77th in the country. Rushing defense, 77th in the country. Points per game, 76th in the country. So a little below average mathematically there. I got this Utah run game at home. They've still got a lot of playoff hopes. Kansas State, I don't think, can match that. It's a must-win spot. Utah can taste it a little bit now. They can see it. You could argue whether they should be ranked as high as they are, but they are ranked as high as they are. I'm going to put a 2.5 on the upset alert concern meter here. Crazier things have happened, but I don't see it. Next up, hey, wait just a second. I appreciate you guys watching. Most of you are subscribed. If you're not, please do so. It's free. It helps us keep the show free, and that's how we do college football year-round. All right, back to the video. Stay in the Big 12. Brigham Young, 2.5-point favorite at Cincinnati. Night game in Cincy. I need to explain the spread to you. A lot of folks are going to look at the spread and say, oh, man, BYU only a 2.5-point favorite. It's a huge credit to BYU because a few weeks ago, if you looked at the futures market, they projected as a point spread underdog in this game. So Brigham Young's kind of played their best ball. Now, they lost the game at Texas Tech. If you look at that group of games, they beat Utah, they beat Iowa State. I think they had their best game of the year last week against TCU, just smoked TCU. The line was 3.5 on that game. They won 44-13. Because of that, they're actually a short favorite here. Cincy's lost 2 straight, and you gotta this late in the season, you got to ask yourself, did they mail it in, or could we have one more bounce-back effort here? Brigham Young, the edge in turnover margin. They got the edge in time of possession. They're a huge time of possession team. I know some of our friends, Parker Fleming, chief among them, love turnover or love time of possession. That's sarcastic. They really do love turnover margin. But Brigham Young, the less penalized team, those factors matter here. And I actually ended up picking the Cougars to win the game. I think it's the first time I've called them Cougars all year. But I got to put a 7 on it. I mean, point spread's under a field goal, so I got to put a 7 on it. I think it's a testament to my newfound loyalty to BYU that I only put a 7 on it. Next up, another low spread here. Tennessee, the team that has not won a game in Gainesville since I was in high school, is a 3.5-point favorite. 2003. That's the last time Tennessee won in the Swamp. They play down there every other year. Just so everyone out there who is not familiar with the yearly rivalries in the SEC understands, this isn't that thing where you play someone and then don't see them again for a decade. So some of those like anecdotal stats are misleading. No, they've played down there every other year since 2003. They hadn't won down there. It's kind of a self-contained game. I use that term sometimes, and you'll see what I mean. If you turn this game on Saturday, you'll see Florida's got an interim coach. There's nothing to play for, or so you think. And their season has long since been shot. And Tennessee also, they have their playoff hopes down the drain. You'll turn this game on, and it'll be red hot. Crowd will be sold out. It'll be into it, and you'll watch it, and you'll say, it's like nothing else matters but this game. You're describing what makes college football unique. The impact and the value on regular season games. Believe it or not, contrary to what the casuals tell you, there can be meaning on games that don't have playoff implications tied to them. This will be one of them. You'll turn on this game, and it'll be wild. And you should respect it. Florida's dropped 3 straight. Which Florida do we get? We saw Florida really battle Ole Miss. We saw them be non-existent against Kentucky. Which Florida do we get? I'm going to put an 8 on this. When you hadn't won in a building since the George W. Bush administration, and you've been playing down there every other year since then, you don't get anything assumed about you. So I assume chaos here. I'm going to put an 8 on it. And lastly, Pitt is at Georgia Tech. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this is a 10 on the upset alert concern meter. It's possible the wrong team's favored here. Well, Josh, Notre Dame took care of Pitt last week. Yeah, Georgia Tech's not Notre Dame, firstly. Secondly, it wasn't a must-win game. Did you not listen to Pat Narduzzi? This is a must-win game. That Georgia Tech defense, a little drop-off, a little drop-down in resistance compared to what Pitt had to face last week. 105th pass defense. So I think Pitt's going to be able to do some business here. Look, you can get Pitt through the air too. Problem is, that's really not the stat profile for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech wants to run it on you. Haynes King's got to have like 50 million touches in a game, and he will, and They got the home crowd at their back. I believe it's a night kickoff. They're favored by 2.5. I'm going to put a 10 on it. I'm terrified. I am terrified for Georgia Tech. They were wobbly last week. They've been wobbly for a few weeks now. But you know what? They've earned themselves the right to play a meaningful game here in late November. And to that, I salute them. The one other game that I did not put in here. Oh, man, Jesse, I missed it badly, didn't I? All right, well, we'll talk about it because it should be very much on the radar. Arkansas, Texas. I'm shaking. Texas is favored by 8.5. Bobby Petrino still has not got that win. That win, the one that you remember. Whether he gets the job up there or not, the game you remember, the one he hangs his hat on, he really hasn't gotten that yet. Texas is in the 90s in total pass defense. Arkansas top 35 passing offense. It's another one of those games that if you just flip this one stat category, turnover margin, that could be the difference. Texas is top 15 and Arkansas is 129th. That just means one team has taken care of the ball largely, one team has given the ball away largely, but over one 4-quarter afternoon, that can be randomized. There's going to be a lot of passing here from both teams. That inserts a lot of turnover variance, and I don't know what state of mind that I'm going to get Texas in. They're coming off the Georgia game. Everyone's talking about the A&M game, and just Arkansas sneaking in there in between. I'm putting an 8 on the upset alert concern scale for that one.